Israel is gearing up for a major escalation in its Gaza offensive. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has confirmed that the Israeli military will not only intensify its operations but will also hold territory within Gaza permanently. This marks a significant shift from earlier tactics, as Netanyahu ruled out quick raids or temporary incursions. Instead, Israeli forces will remain on the ground in every area they capture.
דבר אחד יהיה ברור, לא ייכנסו ויצאו לגייס מילואים כדי שיבואו יתפסו שטח, אנחנו יוצאים מהשטח, רק אנחנו עושים פשיטות ממה שנשאר, אנחנו לא שם, זו לא הכוונה.
אוקיי.
הכוונה הפוכה.
The upcoming phase of the war, codenamed Gideon's Chariots, has received unanimous approval from Israel's security cabinet. The plan involves displacing Gaza's civilian population further south to create space for the expanded operation, with military sources indicating that the offensive will begin in full force after US President Donald Trump's scheduled visit to West Asia next week. The goal, officials say, is to give space for a potential hostage deal. If that fails, the operation will commence with no rollback. But the objectives of this campaign are being hotly debated within Israel itself. The Israeli military claims the top priority is recovering hostages still held by Hamas. Yet, political leaders, particularly from the far right, insist that the main aim is to crush Hamas and potentially even annex Gaza. Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich has publicly stated that Israel should not withdraw from any captured territory, regardless of whether a hostage deal is reached.
אנחנו כובשים את רצועת עזה, מטהרים אותה, שולטים בכל השטחים שאנחנו נכנסים אליה. סוף סוף, אחרי שנה וחצי שאני צועק את זה בכתב בעל פה מעל כל בנה, משתלטים על הסיוע ההומניטרי כדי שהוא לא יהפוך לאספקה לוגיסטית שמגיעה לחמאס. אנחנו מפרידים בין חמאס לאוכלוסייה ולסיוע ההומניטרי, מחסלים אותו, מכריעים אותו, מכניעים אותו ומשיבים את החטופים. זו הדרך היחידה.
This hardline stance has alarmed hostage families who fear that their loved ones are being put at even greater risk by the looming ground invasion. Netanyahu's government is under growing internal pressure not just from security officials but also from within his fragile political alliance. On the humanitarian front, the situation in Gaza is becoming increasingly dire. More than 2,400 Palestinians have been killed since mid-March, bringing the total death toll to over 52,000 since the war began. A complete blockade on humanitarian aid has entered its 9th week, drawing strong international condemnation. The United Nations has warned of a looming famine and labeled the restriction of aid as a potential war crime. In response to global criticism, Israeli and US officials are discussing a new mechanism to deliver aid into Gaza while bypassing Hamas. The proposed model involves a private foundation managing aid distribution, with the United Nations and other agencies expected to participate. However, several international humanitarian organizations have already rejected the framework, saying it undermines the core principles of neutrality and impartiality. They fear that such a system would place life-saving resources under political control and fail to reach Gaza's most vulnerable residents. All eyes are now on the coming days as the prospect of a renewed ceasefire and hostage deal hangs in the balance. If diplomacy fails, Israel appears set to launch one of the most sweeping military offensives since the start of the conflict, with devastating consequences for the people of Gaza and rising tensions across the region. With Farhan Khan, Bureau Report, India Today Global.